There are three things that wrestling fans are completely wrong about right now. They are wrong about the Bloodline, they are wrong about Will Ospreay, and they are wrong about TNA. Let's talk about it on this episode of the Crimson Mass Show. What fans don't realize, or what they fail to realize, is that the Bloodline is carrying WWE right now. I see a lot of the discourse on social media. Oh, we hate the Bloodline. We're tired of the Bloodline. When is this going to end? It just keeps going. Like, they're complaining about, oh, they're going to have Jacob Solo and Zilla Fatu now. Yes, the answer is yes. And that's because WWE is heavily, heavily, heavily reliant on the Bloodline. Let me ask you this right now. If the Bloodline just disappeared, went away for good, right now, what left in WWE is interesting. Tell me, because right now, you got Roman, Jay, Jacob, you got all these guys connected throughout different threads, and Solo connected throughout different threads of the WWE's programming all across the board. The Bloodline is a driving force, and the reason why they keep it around is because it's generating money. I've been to the shows. A lot of these people complaining have not been to the shows. And let me tell you, I live in Vegas. When I went to WrestleMania here, both years, last year specifically, people were still in there, one's up to the sky, because the Bloodline is still a thing. Because it's still a thing. And these fans that are complaining are the same fans that complain about every damn thing. That's just the reality of it, bro. That's just the reality of it. Because there's no way that any company will look at something that's as successful as the Bloodline has been over the past years and just be like, okay, well, we're going to end it. This is not the same WWE that you remember. This is not Vince McMahon's WWE where you break up a stable and you end things based on it just reaching its point of longevity. This version of WWE ran by TKO, they're going to go strictly off of this. They're going to go strictly off of this. They're not going to think about what the fans think. They're going to go by what the money dictates they need to go by. And right now, it's the Bloodline, it's Danhausen, it's Oba Femi. That's where the money is going right now. And then when you take that aspect out of it, this storyline, if you just give it a chance, give it another chance, 1,000th chance, it has so many layers you could add to it, so many layers, so many wrinkles. You could throw in, what if Jey Uso wins the King of the Ring, which there's a very good chance is going to happen as much as you people hate him, wins the King of the Ring, and instead of him challenging Cody, he challenges Roman. Now you're going to have it to where it's the Bloodline Civil War all over again. And I'm telling you right now, Jacob is going to side with Roman. That's in his nature. That's in his DNA. He's going to side the tribal chief. But now you're going to have a Bloodline with who? Jimmy, Jay, Solo. Like, there's so many different layers you can do with the story because the family is so big. There's so many things you could do. The Bloodline, honestly, I'll be honest, the Bloodline can run for another 10 years. It'll still generate money. We're not talking about WCW's NWO, where they had added every Tom, Dick, and Jane and Larry to the whole NWO, and it just got completely stale and guys were infighting and all that. This is a completely different situation. So fans need to just stop bitching about the Bloodline. The Bloodline is here to stay. The Bloodline is carrying WWE. And I'm telling you right now, if the Bloodline just up and disappeared, fans will be sick to their stomach because we will be dealing with 2010's WWE where there's nothing interesting going on and we're just fucking miserable. I think it's clear that barring some type of outside interference, that Oba Femi is going to win the King of the Ring. I think there's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. Um, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Oba Femi has dominated since he's come up to the main roster. He should win the King of the Ring. But let me tell you, I think we all know where I'm going here. He challenged Brock Lesnar. King of the Ring finals are coming up. Jey Uso, Oba Femi. Now, just what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? Oba Femi is going to lose that match because Brock Lesnar is going to interfere in it and is going to set up a Oba Femi Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam in Minnesota, where I guess you could say where Brock Lesnar is from. So that's pretty much how that's going to go. I know fans hate Jey Uso, they hate his guts, but the thing is, man, it just is what it is. Jey Uso is going to win the King of the Ring, and then there's going to be an interesting dilemma. Are we going to get a heel Jey Uso turning on Roman, challenging him for the World Heavyweight title, or is he going to challenge Cody to establish a SmackDown Raw dominated bloodline? I mean, it could go either way. I could definitely see fans complaining their ass off if Jey Uso challenges Cody, beats Cody, takes the title, and now you have Jey as the champion on SmackDown and Roman is the champion on Raw. I can just hear the fans complaining about it now. But once again, it's going to generate money, and that's just what they're going to do. But this is about Oba Femi. Oba Femi is going to lose that match because Brock Lesnar is going to interfere. I don't think Oba Femi bit off more than he could chew because Oba is a dog. And if I was a betting man today, I would bet that Oba is more than likely than not going to beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I'm pretty damn sure that's what's going to take place. But yeah, man, if you are expecting Oba Femi to win the King of the Ring, it's not happening. He sealed his fate the moment that he spoke Brock Lesnar's name, challenged him, called him a coward, whatever. That sealed Oba Femi's fate. And it really isn't a big deal to me because personally, I don't even think Oba Femi needs to win the King of the Ring. He's already reached the level that someone who won the King of the Ring should reach. And that's another thing, too. And I'll talk about this in a separate video later. Like, stop putting these people who've already made it to the main event in the King of the Ring. That's not what the King of the Ring is for. The King of the Ring should be used as a stepping stone to elevate someone to the mid card, from the mid card to the main event. And now they're just putting stars in it. Same thing with Money in the Bank. That's what shit like that should be used for. The only match where I feel like they should use, the only gimmick match should be the Royal Rumble, where you have main eventers fighting to like get a title shot. The other two should be used to elevate people permanently. But that's all I'm gonna touch on in this. Oba Femi is not winning the King of the Ring. You can let that go. You can cancel Christmas on that one. Brock is going to ensure that that doesn't happen. And it's too soon anyway for Oba to be challenging for titles. This is not the time for that. Too much too soon is not a good recipe. So, yeah, that's where I'm at on that. Jey Uso will be the King of the Ring. Oba Femi will be fighting Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Sami Zayn, the man who just doesn't know how to mind his fucking business, he found a way to get what he wanted, didn't he? He found a way to fulfill his wish. He's going to get a title shot, even though he just lost a feud to Trick Williams. But I digress, man. But I digress. Sami Zayn, he found a way to weasel himself into, and against all odds, he found himself to weasel his way into a title match. Against the odds of everybody saying he sucks, against the odds of him losing the title match to Trick Williams, against the odds of feeling like Cody's disrespecting him. We knew going into that match with Gunther, between Cody and Gunther, where Sammy's the ref, that Sammy was going to bullshit. And true to form, that's what Sammy did. He was fucking up, sticking his nose in everybody's business as usual. So now he's going to basically get to be the guy who eats the pin at Night of Champions. That's what he's there for. That's what he's there for. He's there to just eat the pin. And if I had to guess today, he'll be eating a pin from Cody Rhodes, which will further inspire him into this last real good guy thing alive. and eventually, resurrect Johnny Gargano, because between him slapping around a water bottle every week and him talking to Johnny Gargano, some it it will blow my fucking mind. It will blow my mind if Johnny Gargano got his ass up and helped Sami Zayn win that match at Night of Champions. I would be fucking shocked. I would be floored if that's what happened. I would be floored. Sami Zayn, whether you like it or not, he is a guy that's necessary for the roster. But damn, man, if he's not a Timu version of Mick Foley. Mick Foley had some redeeming qualities. Sami Zayn used to, but like Sami Zayn really does whether he's a face or a heel, Sami Zayn really does just annoy the living shit out of me. I cannot. Great wrestler, just fucking annoying. Just his character itself is fucking annoying. Like, that's all I can really say about Sami Zayn. But in terms of this storyline, I would be super surprised if Sami Zayn actually won. He's definitely not going to win clean. That has a 0% chance of happening. He's definitely going to need Johnny Gargano to get his ass up. Gunther, I just don't see it. Not this time. Gunther, he's been dominant for years, but I don't see him winning the title this time around. It's either going to be Cody or in a long shot Sammy with interference. Either way, getting a Jey Uso versus Sammy, Jey Uso versus Cody, both of those are going to make sense in the storyline aspect. But if I had to put my money on it today, it's Cody, Sami Zayn. You're fucking annoying. You're fucking annoying. Okay, so for the WWE segments this week, I'm going to have to give it, honestly, I'm going to give it 8 BTAs. I know y'all hating on the bloodline aspect of it. Sami Zayn is annoying. Oba Femi sealed his fate. But at the end of the day, all 3 of those storylines are firing on all cylinders right now. I can't even lie. The people who like the gripe, they're going to say, oh, no, WWE sucks right now. I'm really enjoying it right now. I'm enjoying the WWE product right now, specifically those 3 storylines. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 8 BTAs, 8 BTAs for this time around. WWE, good job. Okay, so this is the segment that's either going to make me or break me for this week. Either I'm going to get killed for the wedding picture, which as you can see right here, which Will Ospreay posted online himself. Just point that out. Or I'm going to get killed for my opinion on the topic itself. And this could be easily broken down into AEW fans who support whatever AEW does and WWE fans who shit on whatever AEW does. And once again, me, like I always like to say, I'm straight down the middle. I shoot it straight. I don't have company biases. So what I'll say is this. There's a lot of people who found what Will Ospreay said to be inappropriate, which he said that, he smashed his wife and he told her to go clean herself up. He got to get to Houston. That's what he said. Here's the thing, though. There's multiple layers. There's multiple points to this. Here's the thing. Number one, and this is just for me looking at talking to people from the UK that are on social media. It's not really, it's like UK humor. It's UK humor. That's number one. Number two, that might just be the way him and his wife joke. Their relationship is their relationship. That's number two. And number three, I don't know. Number three, from a wrestler character development aspect, I love this for Will Ospreay. I love it for Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is slowly, and I know I might be late to the party to some, Will Ospreay is slowly starting to become one of my favorite wrestlers. And I don't mean that from the sense I've always knew for years that Will Ospreay was a stud in the ring. I've already known that for years. But my criticism of Will Ospreay this entire time is that I felt like he didn't have any charisma. And I don't know if it was from the sense of he doesn't have any charisma as, like a UK guy and me being American brain, Americanized, thinking like, okay, this guy's not connecting. But lately, I've just been fucking with Will Ospreay, bro. I've been fucking with Will Ospreay lately, and just the way he's moving, his character development. Like I've been fucking with Will Ospreay. So Will Ospreay said what he said. I fucking laughed, and then like after I laughed, I thought about it. And I said, "Oh shit, somebody's gonna complain about this." And here's the thing. This is what I said online. I said this online to a popular wrestling YouTuber, wrestling content creator who who always shits on AEW. I said this. I said the only thing I'll look at it as a slight towards Will Ospreay in this is that if you're gonna cut a promo in the ring where you appear to have said something that will be seen as disrespectful towards your wife, don't be surprised when other people, mainly on social media, things like that, say disrespectful shit about your wife. You just gotta. I won't be the guy to say anything disrespectful. That's not how I roll about when it comes to shit like that. But people are trolls, and they're gonna say what they're gonna say, and they're gonna look at you saying, "Oh, okay, well, Will Ospreay said that he banged his wife and totally cleaned herself up, so I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say about his wife." I doubt another wrestler would do that because you probably very well respected in the wrestling profession in the AEW, but fans can be fucking horrible, fans can be creepy, fans can be fucking despicable. So just don't be surprised that like opening that can of worms because like really, I don't see Alex Windsor's name just like circulating throughout social media and shit like that. Yeah, they talk about Will, but they don't talk a lot about her. But now he's brought her to the forefront and it's about her cleaning herself up. So that's why I'm pretty much going to leave that. I honestly do not have a fucking problem with it. I don't have a problem with it at all. I thought it was fucking edgy. I like an edgy Will Ospreay. I think him being more edgy can only help him as a wrestler as he becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger star. So I don't personally have a fucking problem with it, man. I mean, I'm sorry if you are offended by it. I'm not. But again, if other people start saying crazy shit about your wife, just remember that you told her to clean herself up on live TV. Okay, what's the end game here? What's the end game? I've said it once, I've said it again. We're getting MJF, we're getting Mark Briscoe again. What's the fucking end game? What's the end game? Mark Briscoe, first of all, me personally, and I don't speak for every wrestling fan, I'm not really checking for a Mark Briscoe MJF feud. I'm just not. Could it be a good story? Yeah. I said this before. Mark Briscoe, Sami Zayn, like they're the same, even though very, 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 very fucking different, are the same guy. Like people root for them because they're the underdog. Sami Zayn is a lot more hated than Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is a lot more lovable than Sami Zayn. Guys that challenge for titles and don't win them. Main titles, heavyweight titles, the big championships, don't win. And I just don't see what the end game is here. Like, so we're gonna get a multi-man match inside of a steel cage. If Mark Briscoe's team wins, he gets a shot at MJF, and then he challenges MJF for the title. But the problem is that MJF just got that belt back, and I just don't see a scenario where Mark Briscoe dethrones MJF. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And if he doesn't win the belt from MJF, then what? Then where does Mark Briscoe go? It's just going to add on to the fact even more that Mark Briscoe probably shouldn't be challenging MJF for the title. And then the big thing to come out of all of this, the big thing to come out of all of this is MJF saying that the only reason fans support Mark Briscoe is because his brother died. I always feel a little bit fucking disturbed when real life death is used to like push forward a storyline. That's just me. I mean, 9 out of 10 times, I love when MJF does shit like this, but it's like that's a part of the problem with MJF and Mark Briscoe. Like they did this shit, they said shit like this the last time they did it. Like, how many times we're gonna keep using how many times we're gonna keep using Jay Briscoe as like a catalyst for Mark Briscoe's rise? Like, I don't like that aspect of it. I don't like the aspect of what feels like a foregone conclusion that Mark Briscoe is not going to beat MJF. Now let's look at the other side of it. What if Mark Briscoe does beat MJF? Then I'm going to feel like they're hot potatoing the AEW title too much. Like MJF has it, MJF loses it, MJF has it, Mark Briscoe has it, and over the course of a few months. I don't like the belt changing hands that many times. That's just me. That's just me. So I mean, I don't know. And even if Mark Briscoe does win the title, it's gonna feel like a transitional championship type of opportunity. So I don't know, man. What do we know? We know it's gonna be a fucking banger. We know this steel cage match is gonna be a fucking banger. Those two are gonna go to war once they're fighting for the title, because I can pretty damn sure, guaranteed, from the fact that MJF's team stood tall on Dynamite, that Mark Briscoe's team is gonna win in the fucking cage. Mark Briscoe's going to get his title shot. And then what? So that's what I'm saying. What's the end game here? If MJF wins, what's Mark Briscoe going to do? If Mark Briscoe wins, how long are they going to keep him with the title if he's probably going to be a cool story and a transitional champion? What's the end game here? All right, man. I'm going to have to get passionate about this shit. I'm going to have to get passionate about this shit. Lio Rush. Okay. Lio Rush, this Blackheart character that he's been cultivating for years. It didn't just poof appear. He's been cultivating this character for years. He's been cultivating this character for years. This character is so fucking over. He's over at the shows. He's over on social media. Like, here's the thing. And here's been the booking. Here's been my biggest criticism of AEW from day one. They cannot let this opportunity fall between their fingers. They cannot let this happen. They cannot let this happen. You have a Mankind Fiend level character that can transcend promotions in Lio Rush, in Blackheart Lio Rush. He does that character so fucking well. Smeagol, Gollum, whatever you want to. He does that character so fucking well, and he should be rewarded for how much he's poured into that fucking character. He should be rewarded for that shit. And I don't want to disrespect the Ring of Honor TV title, but with all due respect, that's not a fucking enough for the amount of effort and development he's put into the Blackheart character. It's not enough. When I think of characters like Lio Rush, I think of characters like, again, Mankind, Mick Foley, characters like that. But a part of what worries me is I don't want Lio Rush to become the male version of Abaddon. Let me tell you guys, I don't know if you go way back when I was making content on my other channel before I started a second channel. If you go way back, you will see how high I was on Abaddon. AEW had it with Abaddon. And next thing I know, I turned around, she disappeared from TV. Next thing I know, her contract expired. She wasn't in AEW. Now, I don't think that Lio Rush is in danger of suffering that same fate, because at the end of the day, Lio Rush is a name. Lio Rush has done things throughout the wrestling business. He has a name. And his character is a lot more developed. His character has a lot more gravitas than Abaddon had. But AEW could have had a long-term female creepy gimmick to keep pushing forward in Abaddon, and they dropped the ball on that. I don't want Lio Rush to become the 2026 version of the Boogeyman. He has to be more than that. He has to be Mankind. He has to be the Fiend. Promotions very seldomly get an opportunity to have characters like this that are this developed and be able to use them the correct way. And so far, I don't want to say he's not being used the correct way, but I will say he's not being used the correct way enough. I've seen him lose too many times already. And I'm not saying he has to be undefeated, he has to win every match, but if he loses, it has to be against somebody who's in the main event picture. I'm sorry. If you put Lio Rush against Will Ospreay, he should probably fucking lose. If you put Lio Rush against Kenny Omega, he should probably fucking lose. If you put him against MJF, he should probably fucking lose. If you put Lio Rush, and again, this is no disrespect to this part because I think he's a fucking beast. If you put Lio Rush against Pac, he shouldn't be fucking losing. His character is far developed, leagues above Pac's character. That's just the reality of it. Leagues, Pac can't do what Lio Rush can do as a character. Bottom line. Bottom line. Bottom line. So I hope AEW does not drop the ball with this character because this character has it. It could transcend promotions. AEW, do your damn job. Make sure you're doing this guy the right way. The Ring of Honor TV title is not a fucking up. This guy is not a low card guy. Push him up to the top. He doesn't have to be at the top. Push him up near the top. That's all I got to fucking say about it. All right, look, man, I fuck with AEW right now, man. I fuck with AEW right now. The Will Ospreay thing, honestly, any type of character development for Will Ospreay is only going to elevate him, elevate his character. But the MJF, Mark Briscoe storyline, I don't fucking know what the end game is to it. Lio Rush is a stud. Please build that character. I'm going to go ahead and give AEW for this week. I'm going to give them 6 BTAs, 6 BTAs. AEW's on a good track. AEW is fucking good right now, but there's little tweaks to make here and there as far as like me being entertained. I know a lot of other fans are entertained, but I need to they need to keep it going in the right direction. They're doing good though. They're doing good. Okay, TNA. TNA. Woo. This is gonna be a little bit different. This time we can't even loop the slideshow. We gotta go step by step with this shit because a lot of TNA shit happened over the past week. Okay, first of all, we've had releases, we've had firing, potential sales, TNA asking people to fucking put up posters and shit. Okay. So as you can see, based on our first slide, we got Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard, apparently she was asked for her release and was granted her release so she can wrestle in CMLL. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. There's a lot of people going around like, oh, is she gonna go to AEW? Is she gonna go to WWE? No, it's not gonna fucking happen. She's not going to AEW because AEW, for better or for worse or whatever you want to say, AEW is not gonna bring in anybody who had any type of claims of like racism or you know any type of controversy of that level surrounding them. WWE, we know they don't give a shit about we know they don't give a shit about if someone's racist or not, but I don't think they're going to bring her in simply because they could have been did it. They could have done a Tessa Blanchard, Tully, Rick, Charlotte, Arn Anderson, Brock Anderson. They could have been done some shit with that if they wanted to. She was there. She was available. They could have been done some shit with that. They opted not to. So why now would they opt to do it? And if they did opt to do it, what would be the fucking point? Because Charlotte Flair is always injured. Is Charlotte Flair even going to be around for them to be able to tell the story that fans have thought that they would want to tell? And then furthermore, Ric Flair has been off the fucking chain. Are they even going to invite that into the whole situation? So, you know, Tessa Blanchard, her going to CMLL is probably what's going on. I think she did like some type of interview where she was talking about, her home is in Mexico, this, that, and the third. And if she feels like that and that's what she wants to pursue, then, that's what's up. But, I can't 100% sit here and say that I believe that part of the reason she is gone from TNA is because TNA is very well on his way to being a fucking train wreck. Then we got Tommy Dreamer. When Tommy Dreamer went on Busted Open a few days ago, and he was on Busted Open, and he was talking about, like, hey, me and TNA, we parted ways. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I immediately defaulted to blaming WWE. I was like, okay, WWE must have been like, get Tommy Dreamer the fuck up out of here. But I think it has more to do with just the fact that they really are, TNA really is cutting costs. And I mean, how much negative publicity financially can TNA have? I mean, it seems like it doesn't matter who the fucking owner is of TNA, what station or what platform they're on. There always seems to be some story about TNA and money, people not getting paid, them not having TV deals. Now it's like fucking budget cuts. Like, how much was your fucking budget to begin with? Like, I don't fucking know. So really, I think that it has more to do with the fact that TNA is just fucking, they're bleeding money. The people aren't watching AMC. I mean, that's just how I interpret this. And Tommy Dreamer just happened to be one of the casualties of their budget cuts. But the story for Tommy Dreamer didn't stop there. And I didn't do a deep dive. They said it was like a 3-part tweet or some shit like that. Some guy who's like a referee says some shit that Tommy told him that he wasn't going to make it. And from what I understand, there's guys like that, old guys like that, all through the wrestling business that'll say, hey, kid, you don't have what it takes. Hey, kid, you're not going to make it. I mean, that's not something that's not unheard of. But the problem here came from a comment or a response to that tweet where, and I forget his name, but apparently he's in a stable with the guy that claims that nobody watches my podcast, but apparently he knows I have one, even though I haven't dropped a video in 2 months. But I digress. He's in a stable with that guy, Shane Taylor Productions Promotions. He said that Tommy Dreamer basically told him that he can't push a cocky black guy, which, if that's true, oh my God. If that's true, Tommy Dreamer, with all due respect, is as dumb as he looks. Because you literally have 2 cocky black guys near the top of the industry right now in Trick Williams and Swerve Strickland. So you can't push a cocky black guy. That just doesn't make sense. And that's just some old school mentality bullshit that I honestly, I hope that Tommy Dreamer didn't say that. But at the same time, I have no clue why this guy would lie about some shit like that. That would make absolutely no sense for him to just fabricate that. So with that said, I think he probably did say it. I mean, here's my opinion on black guys in wrestling. A lot of black wrestlers, a lot of black guy wrestlers, a lot of us, and I would say us as an I'm not a fucking wrestler. I'm talking about like black guys. I do know a thing or two about black guys because I am. Very good in the ring most of the time, but can't fucking talk. Can't talk. You had guys like, you had Booker T for his era, good in the ring. I found Booker T entertaining every time he picked up a microphone. Booker T is one of my favorite wrestlers of all fucking time. Apollo Crews, great in the ring. I fall asleep when he picks up the microphone. Carmelo Hayes, great in the ring. I do feel like he puts his best foot forward when he picks up the microphone. It's just that for the way Carmelo wrestles and the way Carmelo presents himself, I expect more when he picks up a microphone. Trick lacks a little bit in in-ring ability, fucking dynamite on the microphone. Swerve Strickland could talk on the microphone and he could wrestle his ass off. Like, so, but I just don't understand the idea that you can't push a cocky black guy. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Now, if he's trying to say, like, hey, I don't want to push, a cocky black guy because that's the stereotype that they always give black wrestlers, either cocky black guy or gangster. Like, then I would see that. But like, honestly, I hope Tommy ain't say that bullshit. I really hope it was a fucking misunderstanding. But yeah, man, this is not a good week for Tommy Dreamer. Mickey James tried to defend him, but he was talking shit about her at one point. So, like, it's not a good week for Tommy Dreamer. Then you have Sami Callihan. Oh my goodness. The whole shit with him and TNA, that shit was wild as fuck. That shit was wild as fuck. Like, you see it here in the tweet. Thought I was getting called today to be offered a position in creative. Nope. I've parted ways with TNA. Oh well. Onward to the next adventure. Check out my other company, Pro Wrestling Revolver. So honestly, from where I sit, based on what Sami Callihan said, he poured into TNA. I find it completely fucked up the way they did it. Anytime somebody is trying to passionately fucking tell them how much you've done for a company, how much you're worth, and have that company, have that entity basically say, I don't give a shit what you did, you're out of here. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Like, there's no other way I could put it. And I couldn't fit the whole thing of what he said regarding him and TNA, but I'm pretty sure he told the whole thing on Busted Open. You can go check that out. But yeah, dude, like, it's really fucked up. I heard he went off on the Zoom call. I think that's what he said on Busted Open. Honestly, as a person, as a human who works, and I hate people who compare their regular everyday jobs to like professional sports, professional wrestling. I think we can all relate to where we feel like we've poured a lot into a company, or we've done our best, put our best foot forward for an agency, company, entity, and to basically at the end of the day be told or be made to feel like our efforts didn't mean anything. So from that standpoint, I think it's really fucked up. I do think, however, that he's going to go be a monster somewhere and like just fucking produce. But wherever he goes, he's going to help raise the tide at whatever promotion, his own promotion, whether he goes to be in AEW. I don't see him being in production or whatever for WWE because honestly, you'll end up running into the same thing, the same red tape. You end up running into the same bullshit with WWE that that you ran into in TNA. So if you want to go to one of the major promotions, I think that the best thing for him is probably to just go to AEW because I do think AEW carries a far greater sense of job security there than the other companies. Anything that's related to WWE, I'm talking about TNA, AAA. Honestly, if you're worried about job security, I just wouldn't fucking do it. I wouldn't fucking do it. And so now we got to talk about the rumors of an AEW sale. I'm not AEW sale. So now we got to talk about rumored sales of TNA. And I'm just going to read this. This is from Blake Avignon, and I apologize if I butchered the name, but he covers pro wrestling journey, like from what I understand. So he said that Anthem's Lynn Asprin has set a $30 million floor for a potential sale of TNA with his preferred price in the 40 million, 50 million range. The premium reflects toxic debt on Anthem's books that any buyer would be expected to absorb. No deal is imminent, but the number is out there. Part of the underpins that price. Part of what underpins that price. TNA's TV deal with AMC includes guaranteed money now plus option years that could raise its value down the line. AMC also holds right of refusal on TNA's next media rights negotiations. That ROFR is the wrinkle. A buyer isn't just pricing TNA wrestling, they're pricing a television deal they don't fully control going forward. And Asper's guaranteed AMC revenue alone gets him most of the way to his floor. Worth the history. In 2024, a group led by Scott Dearmore offered roughly $10 million, including assumptions of TNA's depths, valuing the company between $7 million and $12 million, respectively. Anthem rejected it outright, no counter. Whether that gap is real growth or as per betting the market has changed more than it has is the question. We'll find out what someone actually bid. So one thing I heard too is that WWE is not fucking bidding for TNA, and we'll see what AEW does if AEW does anything. But like I seen someone else say on social media, you hate a monopoly unless you're the one with the monopoly. So please do keep that in mind that people felt like WWE was a monopoly over wrestling. But if you have AEW buying TNA on top of already had bought Ring of Honor and also damn near what feels like owns New Japan, then you got another monopoly going on with WWE holding on to AAA and then TNA. And obviously, if AEW buys TNA, then that relationship with WWE is going to go down the drain. Now, wouldn't it be fucking awesome? Wouldn't it be fucking awesome and interesting if AEW buys TNA and WWE keeps their relationship with TNA? And then you could kind of almost have like 10. I know this is unrealistic. Just let me dream. Just let me dream. And TNA could serve as almost like a limbo, like a fucking middle ground where WWE wrestlers and TNA wrestlers, New Japan, where all these wrestling promotions could interact with each other and be involved in shit together and things like that. You have a non-invested party who books for TNA that actually determines what happens versus somebody from WWE saying, no, my guy's not losing. AEW, my guy's not losing. Like, that would be cool. It won't happen, but it will be fucking awesome. It will be awesome. So another thing too, and you know what? I don't think this is bad, but it just kind of feels embarrassing because of everything else that's going on with TNA this week. TNA Wrestling is expanding its street team and looking for motivated fans in Boston, Albany, Philadelphia, and Chicago. Street team members must be 18 plus will help promote upcoming TNA live events by hanging posters, distributing flyers, and more. That feels a lot like cheap advertisement. It does. Honestly, it does, man. Hanging up like that's it feels like such an early 2000s, 90s approach to advertising. And me as a marketing major, I just don't know about the effectiveness of having people going around putting up signs like they're looking for a lost cat or dog, saying, hey, come watch this TNA live event. I mean, you need billboards, you need digital advertising, you need digital marketing. That's what you need. Those are the areas where you need to excel. Like having people walk around handing out flyers is such an old school way of doing shit. That's like the guy that used to sell his fucking mixtape out of the back seat of his car or sell his mixtape on the street and shit like that. It's such an old school way to do things. Street team, I swear. I haven't heard of the term street team since I was a young 18, 19-year-old kid looking for a job And I had the people who used to hire people to stand outside and say, "Hey, what kind of cologne do you wear? What kind of cologne do you wear?" And then try to sell fucking knockoff cologne. Like, I haven't heard the term street team since then. So the fact that TNA is out here on social media trying to find people to be on their street team to get the word out about TNA, put the word out on the street, we up. Like, I just think that shit. I think that shit is fucking. That shit is low, bro. So, lastly, comes to TNA. We got Matt Hardy, and this comment here is from Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy said that so financially, TNA is okay. We're not about to be bought by WWE right now. I know that's the rumor. I think down the road in a few years that could happen, whatever. But right now, that's not happening. We're actually going in the opposite direction. They're actually saving money. I mean, if that was true, then why are you cutting? Honestly, man, look, me personally, when these wrestlers do interview, I just tend to take the approach just not believing what the fuck they say. So Matt Hardy, in this case, I'm just not gonna believe. Love Matt Hardy. Been a Matt Hardy fan since I was a kid. Matt Hardy would know more than I know, but I also think that Matt Hardy is towing the company line and saying what he needs to say positively about TNA. And I know historically Matt Hardy says what he has to say, he gets what he has to get off his chest. So I mean, I don't want to sit here and just completely disregard what Matt Hardy is saying, but like the optics say opposite of what he's saying. So I don't necessarily know if TNA, because if you're saying that TNA is saving money, their actions is their actions are showing that they're losing money. So I don't know, man. I don't know. BTAs for TNA, I'm gonna be honest, bro. They ain't got no BTAs, bro. TNA ain't got no BTAs to me, bro. Like, it's just honestly, you know, oh, Amazing Red came back. Oh, like, that's cool, man. But like, the publicity, the negative publicity TNA has gotten this week. Honestly, if I could give TNA negative BTAs, I would. I would. This has just been, optically, has just been a horrible week for TNA. All right, guys, that's it. Now you know my opinion. But what's your opinion? Who had the best week? WWE, AEW, TNA? Drop your BTAs in the comments. Like, subscribe. You know the name. It's MFGDs. You know the game. It's the Crimson Mask Show, Crimson Mask Gang, baby. We out.